He's going to take it himself for a championship.
A double play wins it for free.
Jordan to the end zone. What a catch. Micaiah touchdown.
Into the layup goes at the buzzer.
Parochial wins it. The championship.
He's going to take it himself for a championship.
A double play wins it for free.
Jordan to the end zone. What a catch. Micaiah touchdown.
Into the layup goes at the buzzer.
Parochial wins it. The championship.
Welcome inside Bryant E. Fleury Field here in Morristown on the campus of Delbarton. It's a top 5 showdown here in the state of New Jersey as the Millers of Millburn High School are on the road to face the Green Wave of Delbarton. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here inside the D1 Media Pro page on the National Federation of High School Sports. My name's Kevin Connolly, joined alongside Adam Tubes. And Adam, these are two of New Jersey's best teams, and they meet here on a Monday afternoon in Morristown.
Yeah, this Millburn team ranked 4th in the state, Delbarton 2nd according to NJ.com. Both teams have had fantastic wins. Millburn over Old Tappan, Delbarton over Rainey, who's number 1 in the state. So 2 powerhouses in New Jersey, both atop of their conferences so far this season. And it's going to be a good one here today at Delbarton.
Yeah, it begins the big week for both of these teams. For Millburn, they just came off of a 2-0 win against Montclair in the semifinals of the Greater Newark Tournament. They'll take on Delbarton today. Then they go down the shore to take on Red Bank Catholic on Wednesday. They'll play Columbia on Thursday, and then it's the big one of the week on Saturday when they take on Seton Hall Prep in the championship game of the Greater Newark Tournament. As for Delbarton, they also punched their ticket to their county tournament championship game as they will be playing in the Morris County Tournament Championship. They picked up another tough, hard-fought, gritty win over Chatham in the semifinals, 3-0 over the weekend. They'll play West Morris on Saturday night in the Morris County Tournament Championship game. We're just about set for first pitch here between Millburn and Delbarton. We'll step aside for a quick message from our sponsors, and we'll be back with lineups and baseball here on D1 Media Pro right after this. Welcome back here to Brian E. Fleury Field on the campus of Delbarton in Morristown, getting set for first pitch between the Millburn Millers and the Green Wave of Delbarton. Kevin Connolly, Adam Tubes with you here on D1 Media Pro. Let's take a look at the starting lineup today for the Millburn Millers as submitted by their head coach, Brian Chapman. Robert Schneider leads off and plays shortstop. Batting second is the left fielder Kaigo Fujita. Steven Echeverria will be the designated hitter batting third. Alex Wilson bats fourth and plays center field. Batting fifth is the third baseman Matthew Weiner. Ethan Axelrod will bat sixth and play first base. Shy Abbott bats seventh and does the catching. Batting eighth is the second baseman Greg Rosenthal. And Jack Meyerowitz rounds out the order, and he plays right field. Adam, that starting nine will be effaced by Delbarton starter A.J. Sakento for the Green Wave.
Yeah, this Millburn lineup 1 through 9 really doesn't have any holes. At the top, you have Robert Schneider, who's leading the SEC with 30 hits. And at the bottom of the lineup, you have Jack Meyerowitz, who's hitting over 300 on the season. So Sakento has a tall task ahead of him with this Miller lineup. But he's pitching to the tune of a 3 ERA, and he's committed to Duke. So he is more than ready to handle this Miller lineup today.
Absolutely. Just a freshman. You said he's committed to Duke. He has a 3 ERA. Last time out, he pitched on May 5th. He threw 101 pitches in a complete game, 4 hit, 1 run, and 6 strikeout effort against Jefferson on the season. He's thrown 28 innings, given up 23 hits, 12 runs, 11 walks, and 37 strikeouts. So certainly he will be a handful to deal with for this Millburn lineup. Well, we're just about set to get this one underway. A little bit of a unique broadcast perspective for us here today up the right field line. Can't go in the outfield, about a 12-foot fence all the way around here at Delbarton, and then obviously it's never good shooting through a fence if we were to line up behind home plate. So nonetheless, we'll be out here in right field. Hopefully it's not that poor of a angle for all of you watching at home. Robert Schneider is ready. A.J. Sakento is ready as well. And we're just about set to get this one underway from Morristown. And the first pitch is cut on and missed. And we're off and running. First pitch thrown at 4:17, scheduled for a 4 o'clock start. Millburn didn't get here till about 3:20 Eastern time, so that's why I had that 17-minute delay. As that one is bounced on the ground to third. Throw over to first is high, but Robert Russo comes back down on the bag for the first out, and that gives us a chance to set the defense for Delbarton here today. We'll start in the infield at third. It's Harley, Hager, Garcia, and Russo around the infield. Mills, Dahl, Maselli in the outfield from left to right. Told you Sakento is doing the pitching, and it's Zach Bride who will be his battery mate behind the plate.
This Miller team, last time they actually played Delbarton in spring, as that one cut foul. They actually played Delbarton in the spring. Delbarton came out with the win there. Millburn was shaky on the offensive end, so today the Millers need to get out to a hot start if they want to keep this one close and come out with a win against a very good Delbarton team.
Kaigo Fujita fouled the first pitch off, takes the second pitch downstairs for a ball. First pitch weather today, 73 degrees and sunny. It is a beautiful day here in New Jersey for some baseball. 1-1's taken upstairs, and the count's 2-1. Perfectly manicured feel, as you would expect here at Delbarton. As that one is popped up, coming right at us here in foul territory. It'll stay in play, but nobody's able to make the play as it one hops over the wall. And the count's now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes on Fujita. 1 out here in the first inning. I know, Adam, did you bring your glove today?
I didn't bring my glove, but I moved my car. They got that. They got that parking lot way too close to the field.
That might be a better idea of bringing your glove, moving your car. I did the same. I parked far back left. I'm trying to get as far away from the field as possible.
I was parked where that Escalade was. Somebody told me to move it. I was wondering why I was the only car in the front row.
2-2 pitch is chopped on the ground to third once again. Playing it on a hop is Harley. Throw over to first is a strike. Back-to-back ground out to the hot corner for Millburn, and there's 2 away.
Chento getting really getting through the heart of this Millburn lineup. It's at the top of the lineup, not in that middle as you'd think. But now Steven Echeverria, who's second in the SEC in home runs, has an opportunity to keep this inning alive for the Millers.
Well, you're not going to see him on the mound for Millburn until Saturday's Greater Newark Tournament Championship game. He pitched in Saturday's semifinal, went 6 2/3 against Montclair in that 2-0 win for Millburn, and they needed everything they could possibly get from him as he takes first pitch inside 1-0. The Florida commit, every time he steps on the mound, flocks of MLB scouts come to watch him throw. One of an all-time MLB great on hand here today, and Al Leiter. Get into that a little bit later on in our broadcast with the baseball history here at Delbarton, but Al's son, Jack Leiter, obviously top overall, top 3 selection in Major League Baseball draft a couple of years ago. Obviously can't go much around New Jersey without hearing about Anthony Volpe for the New York Yankees. He's a Delbarton product. The list just goes on and on for how Bruce Chattel posts outstanding prospects here at Delbarton. But Steven Echeverria, one of the best prospects in all of New Jersey for Millburn. Taking all the way on the 3-0 in there for a called strike, 3-1.
You say Delbarton produces a lot of good prospects both in the MLB and college. This lineup today for Delbarton has a plethora of D1 commits, all of them in the lineup today for Delbarton, and we'll get more into that when we talk about their offensive lineup.
3-1, outside, ball 4. So Millburn with a 2-out base runner here in the first inning, and it'll bring up the center fielder, Alex Wilson. It was funny on the field before the game after Millburn was throwing, and Echeverria came over to Brian Chapman as I was talking to him and said, "My arm feels good." And then Chapman looked at him with one of those, like, "You're kidding me now" looks. Not that he could pitch, because he can't in terms of the pitch count limit, but like he wanted to be out there and playing first base or being in the field. And he said, "No, you're staying at DH." As first pitch is hit on the ground to shortstop. Bobbled there. They'll still go the short way for the out. Echeverria didn't slide. He went in feet first to the bag, but able to work around a 2-out walk is A.J. Sakento. Millburn kept off the board in the top half of the first inning. We're going to the home half as Delbarton is coming to bat. A.J. Sakento able to work around a 2-out walk in the first inning to keep Millburn off the board. Delbarton coming to bat here in the home half. And we'll take a look at the starting lineup today for the Green Wave. Griffin Mills leads off and plays left field. Matt Dahl bats second in center. Kevin Hager, the shortstop, batting third. Jack Harley, he plays third base and cleans up. Batting fifth is the second baseman, Sal Garcia. Robert Russo will bat sixth and play first. Aiden Dill is the designated hitter, batting seventh. Marco Mazzelli is in right, batting eighth. And the catcher, Zach McBride, rounds out the Delbarton order. They will face Millburn starter Drew Oppenheim, continuing his recovery, returning from an injury, making his third appearance of the season.
He's made 3 appearances, and all 3. He's only gone 3 innings because he's on that 50 pitch count. But in all the games he's pitched, he hasn't allowed a run, and he's been backed up pretty well by Alex Faust, who's going to pitch Wednesday against Red Bank Catholic, which is a game we do have. So
that'll be 7 o'clock on Wednesday night, as the first pitch to Mills is in there for a called strike.
Oppenheim has a nasty off-speed pitch. Fools hitters left and right.
And that one is chopped on the ground to third. Throw over to first from Wiener is in time, and there's one away. Take a look at the defense today for Millburn. We'll start on the infield at third with Wiener, Schneiders at short, Rosenthal at second, Axelrod at first. In the outfield from left to right, Fujita, Wilson, and Meyerowitz. Shai Abbott doing the catching today for Drew Oppenheim. So Mills retired and Matt Dahl will dig in.
This Miller lineup coming into the year had a hole at second base, and it's been filled perfectly by Rosenthal, as he's been sure-handed at second and has been threat at the plate. And then Henry Jacobs, who usually plays that left field position for the Millers, or rather the center field position for the Millers, is out today with an injury as well. So Fujita, who's been productive for the Millers all season long, will get that left field spot today. And he's pretty sure-handed in left field as well.
1-1 is the count to Dahl. Fastball upstairs, might have offered it one out of the zone, and it's 1-2. Oppenheim heading the count, a ball and 2 strikes on the 2-hole hitter for Delbarton. Kicks and fires, and again it's chopped foul, this time on the first base side. Oppenheim can be very deceptive from the left-hand side. Looking to go upstairs. Instead, they come inside, and it's 2-2. That one is hit on the ground and threw into left field for a base hit. Matt Dahl with a 1-out single for Delbarton. First hit of the game for either team, and it brings up the shortstop, Kevin Hager.
You don't see many of those against Oppenheim. Just a base knock, not hit all that hard. Schneider couldn't get to it. And Delbarton's in business with 1 out.
First pitch to the plate. Misses inside, 1-0. Oppenheim, good pickoff move. Back to the plate, misses outside. Ball gets away from Abbott, but not too far for Dahl to advance, 2-0. 2-0. There's a called strike. 2-1.
Oppenheim behind in the count once again.
The big thing is trying to get ahead of these Delbarton hitters. And that runs inside, and it hits Hager. So back-to-back base runners for Delbarton here in the first.
You can't do that against the Delbarton team. You can't let 2 men on with 1 out. And a power hitter here.
It'll be Jack Harley, the third baseman for the Green Wave. And we'll get an early mound visit here from Shai Abbott as he goes out to talk with Oppenheim.
If you're a Delbarton fan, this is the guy you want to see. Leads the team in RBIs with 22, is tied for 3rd in the NJAC Conference with 22.
Axelrod not holding Hager on at first. He'll play behind him with 2 on and 1 out. First pitch, squaring to bunt. Oppenheim off the mound to field. Throw to first is not in time. Infield single for Jack Harley, and the bases are loaded for Delbarton here in the first inning.
What a bunt by Harley as he gets on base and advances both runners. So he does his job and more. And now Delbarton in business with the table set.
Brian Chapman comes out of the dugout for Millburn. I think he's trying to ask some help for our home plate umpire. I don't know, from our perspective, we got a pretty good look at it down the first base line here. I told you about our unique broadcast perspective here today with the field dimensions at Delbarton. But he looked safe from my perspective, but Brian Chapman comes out to have a word with our base umpire. Thought Oppenheim might have had a play over there at third, but he elected to turn his body and try and throw over to first.
Yeah. But a strategic bunt down that third baseline with a lefty pitcher, he's got to make that full turn over to first, because you got two fast guys at first and second who probably will advance on a bunt like that. And the strategic bunt to go down the third baseline and make it an impossible throw for Oppenheim, as he had to spin to make that play at first, and he's safe. So, good play.
So bases loaded, 1 out for Sal Garcia. And the first pitch to him misses upstairs, 1-0.
Garcia, also a freshman for this Delbarton team, committed to Duke, as well as Sacento.
Upstairs, and it's 2-0, and Oppenheim continuing to work behind these Delbarton hitters. Dahl at third, Hager at second, Harley is at first. The 2-0 is in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Millburn plays back all around the infield as that one's popped up on the infield. Will it stay in play? Wiener calling everybody off. He puts it away in fair territory for a huge second out.
Wiener has had his struggles at third base this season, but he makes a nice catch there in a big situation, and now it's 2 away with the bases loaded and an opportunity to get out of this jam and keep this one scoreless.
Oh, brings up Robert Russo. Delbarton threatening here in the first. Oppenheim now with 2 outs. As the pitch to Russo misses, 1-0.
Once again, a first pitch ball from Oppenheim.
So can Russo do the job for Delbarton and try and get them on board early? Big swing on the 1-0. Can't catch up, 1-1. Outfield, fairly shallow. Deep dimensions here at Brian E. Fleury Field. 320 down the line, 350 in the gap, and 380 out to dead center. 1-1 off the outside corner, 2-1.
Yeah, this Miller team tends to play a shallow outfield, mostly because they have really quick outfielders. Wilson and Meyerowitz in that center and right position right now have the most speed. Jack Meyerowitz in right is actually committed to Denison for track, so he's a pretty fast guy in right.
There's a called strike, hit the top of the zone, and it's now 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded, bottom of the first inning, still scoreless between Delbarton and Millburn. Drew Oppenheim getting ready to throw pitch number 22 of this first inning. Told you, don't expect to see him more than 70 pitches here today, as his 2-2 was a foul ball or a hit by pitch. I think they're going to initially signal foul ball, but it also might have gotten the hands of Robert Russo.
Or it might have caught him inside on that inner half of the bat and vibrates, really hurts the hands inside. So
Bruce Chattel, the Delbarton head coach, looked like he was signaling towards the Delbarton dugout, calling for a trainer. As you see there, Russo still holding at his hands. As now the trainer for the Green Wave will come out and check on him, and our 2 umpires will get together and talk if it was a foul ball or a hit by pitch. The initial ruling on the field was foul ball. Umpires will chat and will await their decision. Either remains at a 2-2 count, or it's a run for Delbarton. And it doesn't look like anything is going to change here, as it looks like it's going to remain a foul ball. Our home plate umpire goes to check on Robert Russo as he's trying to get some dry swings in to see if he can grip a baseball bat. Adam, that's what it had. It had to be a check swing and run in on his hands and get a part of the bat and his fingers as well.
Yeah.
So he's still being checked out by the Delbarton athletic trainer as well as head coach Bruce Chattel, but it is going to remain a foul ball. Count's going to stay 2-2. It'll be pitch number 23 upcoming for Oppenheim. He threw 54 pitches in his first appearance of the season, then was elevated up to 61 in his second appearance. So expect to see somewhere between 65 to 70 pitches out of Oppenheim here today. Both those outings he went 3 innings, but he's found himself in a jam here in the first. So Russo's going to stay in the game. Counts 2-2, 2 outs, and the base is loaded. The lefty Oppenheim stares in and comes set. 2-2 pitch, home, cut on and miss, strike 3. Into and out of trouble goes Drew Oppenheim in the first inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and the base is left loaded for Delbarton. We're going to the second, still scoreless between Millburn and the Green Wave. Top of the second inning here between Millburn and Delbarton. We're still scoreless. The Green Wave leave the bases loaded in that first inning. Millburn went down relatively easy. 3 groundouts. A 2-out walk was issued to Stephen Bria. But Matthew Weiner, he will lead things off for Millburn. It'll be 5, 6, and 7. Weiner, Axelrod, and Abbott to bat for the Millers. Kevin Connolly, Adam Tubes with you here in Morristown on the campus of Delbarton at Brian E. Fleury Field. Thank you for spending part of your Monday afternoon with us here on the D1 Media Pro page of the National Federation of High School Sports. Trio of Millburn games, if you're a Millburn fan watching, will be on our airwaves this week. We have this game here today. We'll also have matchup Wednesday between Millburn and Red Bank Catholic, and then obviously on Saturday we will have full coverage of the Greater Newark Tournament Championship between top seed Millburn and second seeded Seton Hall in the rubber match of the season between those two. Both teams being on their home fields. So, exciting week of baseball if you are a Millburn Miller. 0-2 pitch to Weiner, misses upstairs, 1-2.
Stephen Echeverry getting his 3rd go against Seton Hall this season.
That typically favors the opposition.
Yeah.
As that's a nasty breaking ball in the dirt. Caught cleanly by McBride. First strikeout for Sacento, and there's 1 away. Interesting to see who Seton Hall likes to put on the mound.
If I took my pick, I'd probably pick Foster.
Yeah, I would think Elijah Foster as well.
Yeah. Millburn hit harsh that first game 9-1, and then Foster put them in their place that second matchup at home. So
First pitch in there for a strike to Ethan Axelrod.
I'd be surprised if they didn't go with Foster.
Seton Hall needing 8 innings to rally to defeat Livingston in the semifinals on Saturday. It's been a comeback field tournament GNT for Seton Hall. They also needed to rally in the quarterfinals to beat West Essex. But doesn't matter how you win as long as you win, and the Pirates and the Millers will play for a 3rd time. 1-1 pitch to Axelrod is a foul right over the heart of the plate for a called strike, and it's 1-2. Just 20 pitches so far for Sacento as they'll miss upstairs, 2-2. Big game in terms of power points for both teams as well. As the 2-2 misses downstairs. Cut off 4 power points for the state tournament The cutoff is Friday on the 19th. So Millburn, two opportunities to pick up quality victories and try and carve themselves the number 1 seed in their section for the tournament. Same thing with Delbarton. They're trying to close in on the number 1 seed in non-public North A, which is always a loaded sectional.
Yeah, Millburn's trying to get some insurance power points over Cranford, who's had a fantastic season.
Cranford, the only unbeaten left in New Jersey, as that ball was fouled off the foot of Axelrod in the batter's box. Cranford actually playing in the Union County Tournament Championship game tonight against Governor Livingston. Cranford, the currently number 3 team in the state of New Jersey. Ranney is 1, Delbarton 2, Cranford 3, Millburn 4, and then Red Bank Catholic is 5. And Millburn certainly not afraid to play big-time competition as we have back-to-back strikeouts here in the second inning for A.J. Sacento.
Sacento in a groove here has retired all but 1 batter thus far, and that was a walk. Has yet to give up a hit. He's gone down this Miller order.
Shy Abbott will take his chances here against the Delbarton freshman. First pitch to him is a fastball that misses upstairs, 1-0. A couple of scouts on hand. Told you that Al Leiter is here taking a look at Sacento. There's a called strike. Also, former St. John's head coach and minor league coach Ed Blankmeyer also here looking at Sacento. Told you committed to go to Duke. A lot of eyes. A lot of important eyes, I should say, on the Delbarton left-hander. Counts 2-1 here on Shy Abbott. That one bounced up to the plate. Now 3-1.
You a Mets fan?
I'm not. I would call myself a Yankees fan.
Oh.
I can tell you're a big Yankees fan by the shirt you're wearing.
Nah. I only say that. Al Leiter. You're talking about Al Leiter.
Yeah.
Big Met guy.
Spent times with both New York clubs. Inside, ball 4. So for the second straight inning, A.J. Sacento issues a 2-out walk.
Shy Abbott is a magnet to the base path this season. 19 hits and a handful of walks. And his pinch runner, Peyton Kahn, always on the base path and scoring runs for this Miller team, as he's been a big help in the bottom half of this lineup for the Millers this season.
So the speedy Kahn runs for Abbott at first as a courtesy runner. Haven't really seen the pickoff move yet of the lefty Sacento. We'll get a look at it right there as Kahn dives back in safely. Kevin Connolly, Adam Tubes with you here on D1 Media Pro. Wind not that much of a factor. When it does pick up, it is blowing straight out towards the outfield as that one runs behind and clips Greg Rosenthal. So he's on with a hit by pitch, and Millburn now has runners at first and second with 2 outs.
You couldn't ask for a better setting for a game like this.
I think the only thing that we could ask better for is a better
angle.
Broadcast perspective for our viewers at home. So 2 free passes, a walk and a hit by pitch, and now Jack Meyerowitz digs in with a chance to put Millburn on the board with a base hit. Good speed on the bases with Kahn at second as that one is swung on and hit foul down the left field line, and the count's 0-1.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had Meyerowitz drop down a bunt here. He, as I like to call him, the bunt maestro. Perfect bunter. Had one against Montclair in that county game. Brought in a run eventually.
Well, Harley is in guarding against that bunt at third, even with 2 outs. Russo playing behind Rosenthal. Meyerowitz not bunting and pops one in the air. Back behind first base. Going to be a tough play, and on comes Mazzelli to make the play. He was playing shallow out there in right, and he's able to retire Millburn. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left on. We go to the home half of the second inning. Still scoreless between the Green Wave and the Millers. Bottom of the second inning, Drew Oppenheim back out on the mound after he needed 23 pitches to work through that first frame. But Adam, with the bases loaded and 1 out, he was able to buckle down and get an infield pop-up from Sal Garcia and struck out Robert Russo to keep Delbarton off the board as he'll face 7, 8, and 9 in the Green Wave order. Aiden Dill, Marco Mazzelli, and Zach McBride to bat in the second.
Oppenheim with that unmatched confidence got him out of that last inning. He's always talking to me when he's in jams that he knows he can do it. He can do it. And right there, he did it.
Well, Aiden Dill, probably the ace of this Delbarton team, also serves as their designated hitter. Takes first pitch upstairs, 1-0. He squares the bunt, pulls back, and takes a strike. Dill in 38 innings pitched at him. A 0.18 ERA.
That's ridiculous.
That's 1 earned run in those 38 innings as he hits that one on the ground to second base. Backhanded diving play by Rosenthal, and he retires Dill for the first out.
As I said earlier, Rosenthal filling that second base position with ease as he flashes the leather and makes the first out.
Brings up the right fielder, Marco Mazzelli. He made the play out in right field to retire Meyerowitz, who was looking for a bloop base hit that would try and put Millburn in front. First pitch is fouled off over the screen, out of play. Counts 0-1. Good location. Pitch missed. 1-1. Off to the end of the bat, foul outside of third. Counts 1-2. Expecting a pitcher's duel here today between these two teams. See if it comes to fruition. Delbarton threatened in the first, but Oppenheim was able to keep them off the board. And time called at the plate by Mazzelli. That one is ripped. Oh, look out over there at third for Delbarton head coach Bruce Chattel. Goes foul, and the count remains 1-2. Oppenheim ready to work on the 1-2 once again. Tried to paint the corner at the knees, but missed, and it's even at 2-2.
Oppenheim hasn't been behind in the count yet this inning.
Trying to retire Mazzelli. Worked the count to even at 2-2, and now it's full 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Bottom half of the second inning. Payoff pitch outside, ball 4. Mazzelli on with a 1-out walk.
Some unforced errors by the Millers here. Oppenheim walks another batter.
Second free pass Oppenheim has allowed today. He hit Kevin Hager in the first. First walk that Mazzelli draws. It brings up the catcher, Zach McBride. Mazzelli with good speed over there at first for Delbarton. First pitch goes to the plate, and it misses up and away, 1-0. Check on respectively is Mazzelli.
Oppenheim's got a good move over to first, especially as a left-handed pitcher. Got that easy access.
Fires a strike, 1-1. Millburn looking for victory number 20. 20, I should say. Delbarton looking for 19. Oppenheim goes back to the fastball, misses up and away, 2-1. Couldn't catch up to the fastball, McBride, and the count even, 2-2. Oppenheim comes set, looking for a ground ball, trying to turn 2, but first time called from Zach McBride. So we set here, 2 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Scoreless in the bottom of the second. Oppenheim delivers, and fouling off and sending it back over the screen is McBride.
Another tough at-bat for Delbarton, working Oppenheim, trying to reach his pitch count early. Send him out of the game.
There goes the runner. Pitch is popped up into right field. Meyerowitz will make the play. He'll fire over to first, but it's not in time. Able to get back is Mazzelli, but there's 2 gone. Meyerowitz able to make the play out in right field. Ball's not carrying that well here today, although McBride got underneath that one. Brings up Griffin Mills back to the top of the order for Delbarton here in the second. 1 on and 2 away for him.
That shallow outfield you were talking about paid off for both Delbarton and the Millers right there, as 2 exactly the same hits from both the Millers and Delbarton.
Nice breaking ball by Oppenheim as Mills takes 0-1. See if Mazzelli tries to take off here in this at-bat. Not going now, as that one is hit in the air, right field and deep. Meyerowitz going back right in front of the warning track, and he makes the play. So Meyerowitz backed up a few steps for the dangerous Griffin Mills, and he's able to track it down in right field for final out of the inning. We're off to the third here between Millburn and Delbarton. Still scoreless. Top of the third we go here between Millburn and Delbarton. Still scoreless as Drew Oppenheim, nice bounce back second inning, although he is up to 41 pitches through 2. Again, expecting to see him go anywhere between 65 to 70 in his first 2 outings since returning from injury. He only threw 3 innings in both, threw 51 pitches in outing, or 54 pitches, excuse me, in his first outing, and then he was bumped up to just under 60 in his second outing. So we'll see how long Chapman wants to go here in his third start from injury. For Millburn, it'll be the top of the order. Schneider, Fujita, and Echeverria to bat in the third inning.
And that's good news for Oppenheim, as the Millers have an opportunity with the top of their lineup up to give them some runs.
Yeah, they got 2 on in the second. Abbott walked. Rosenthal was hit by a pitch, but Meyerowitz flew out to right field to end the threat. He made a couple of nice plays in the outfield in the second inning to keep Delbarton off the board. First pitch, missed upstairs, 1-0. Millburn still looking for their first hit against A.J. Sacento. Upstairs, and it's 2-0 on Schneider.
Schneider's filled in nicely at that leadoff position. Henry Jacobs has had that all season long, but Schneider filled in when he had that injury.
Well, it counts now 3-0 on him. Would imagine he'll be taking all the way. Millburn has had at least a guy on in first 2 innings, and they'll have one on here in the third as well, as Schneider works a 4-pitch walk.
So instead of a 2-out walk for the Millers, they now got a runner on first with no outs. And Fujita, who's driven in a plethora of runs this season, has an opportunity here.
The first time Millburn has had the leadoff man on. Fujita takes a called strike. Think this could be a bunt scenario for Millburn. Delbarton thinks the same, with Harley on the infield grass at third. And they'll check on him over at first, but nothing doing there for Schneider. Now Fujita squares to bunt. Did he offer at it? No, 1-1.
Fujita's been able to come up in some big moments for the Millers this season. And if he can get on here, it'd be the biggest miss far.
1-1, taking upstairs, 2-1. So, a little bit of command issues from A.J. Sacento here to begin the third. He's walked 3 and hit 1 today. Another check over there at first on Schneider.
Sacento doesn't normally walk that many. Only 11 walks in 28 innings pitched, and that's 11 walks to the 37 strikeouts he has on the season. So more of a strikeout than a walk guy, and has that control, but right now losing it a bit.
2-1 Fujita, and it'll trickle foul and be touched there by Russo, and it's now 2-2. What you look at today for Sacento: 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a hit by pitch. So he hasn't had his typical pinpoint control like he has shown in his debut season here with the Green Wave.
A big game, and especially against the Millburn team as a freshman. Some tough stuff to handle early in your career.
There goes the runner. 2-2 pitch upstairs. Throw down to second is not in time. In and out of the glove of the second baseman Garcia. So a stolen bag for Schneider and a 3-2 count on Fujita. Even if Garcia caught that ball cleanly, Schneider probably would have been safe. So now a full count with a runner in scoring position and nobody out for Millburn. Time called at the plate by Fujita ahead of the 3-2 pitch. Sacento will step off. Now we're ready. Nobody out. Runner at second. Payoff pitch from Sicento is fouled off by Fujita.
The Millers in that county semifinal game didn't have a lot of hits. They didn't have a lot of hits, and they didn't score their runs on hits. It came on an error and a sac fly, and those struggles at the plate have continued here against Delbarton, as they've yet to record a hit, and they've yet to record a run. Both teams have yet to record a run, but the Millers have yet to record their first hit.
Brief conversation between McBride and Sicento. Long staring, now he'll finally come set. Pitch is upstairs, Fujita offered at it. Third strikeout today for Sicento.
So Fujita goes down, but Echeverria steps up to the plate, and the Millers are a runner at second away from putting a run on the board and a first hit potentially with Florida commit Steven Echeverria at the plate.
Echeverria walked his first time up. Got a chance to put Millburn ahead, and Sicento taking too long to deliver on the mound. And Millburn batters growing a little bit impatient and calling time. And move. Schneider didn't have that big of a lead over at second base, but Sicento will chase him back to the bag. Swings at a first pitch outside the zone, 0-1. This time, Echeverria leaves it, and it's 1-1. Game has slowed down quite a bit here in this top half of the third inning after the leadoff walk to Schneider. He's certainly in the back of the mind of Sicento. Another inside move that chases him back as Garcia tries to hold him close at second. Delbarton not expecting Echeverria to bunt. Harley's back at third, as is Russo at first. 1-1, fastball hits the inside corner for a called strike, 1-2.
Not sure what the Miller hitters are looking for from Sicento right now. They've taken a lot of pitches. I'm not sure if they're looking to walk or they're just trying to look for their pitch, but Fujita didn't swing at much until that last desperate swing, and now Echeverria swung on that first pitch but hasn't yet.
Takes inside, good block there by McBride to keep it in front, and the count's even at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at second is Robert Schneider. A walk in a stolen bag has him in scoring position. Wind picking up here in Morristown and blowing straight out to dead center field. Miller still looking for their first hit of the game, despite having quite a few base runners on walks and hit by pitches, and Sicento steps off and again chases Schneider back to the bag. And now he'll fake a throw over.
Really keeping a close eye on Schneider in a 2-2 count to probably the Millers' 1 or 2 hitter. I say he should focus on the plate.
Way upstairs, ball gets away, and down to third goes Schneider on the wild pitch.
That's what happens when putting on behind you on the base path. you kind of lose focus of the count, lose focus of the batter, and a wild pitch there for Sacento moves Schneider 90 feet away.
Well, they'll bring the corners in, they'll leave the middle back. They'll trade a run for an out here in the third inning. Full count on Steven Echeverria. Now quickly the middle infielders come in, but the pitch misses inside, ball 4. So Echeverria works his second walk today, and now there are runners at the corners with one out.
I've seen this so many times. Sacento lost his rhythm at the plate, firing over to second base, even though Schneider wasn't taking a big lead. Lost focus of the plate, walked Echeverria. Now there's runners at the corners for Wilson, who's had 34 RBIs, leads the conference and the team. So a guy the Millers love to see at the plate right now, and a guy I know Oppenheim loves to see.
Wilson grounded out to second base to end the first inning. Swings at the first pitch and hits it on a rope, just foul, down the left field line. Oh, we're talking about inches up that third base line, or Millburn has a 1-0 lead. Wilson jumping on the first pitch from Sacento. Corners stay in. Russo holding Echeverria on at first. Middle infielders are back, looking for an inning-ending ground ball double play, although with Wilson's speed, he's tough to double up. Takes a second pitch fastball for a strike, and it's now 0-2. Matthew Weiner waiting on deck. Can Millburn strike here against Delbarton? They had a runner at second and no out. Now runners are at the corners with one. 0-2 upstairs, and it's 1-2. I think that was almost a pitch out, although it had a lot of the plate, but it was nearly over everybody's head to the backstop. Sacento didn't come close to throwing a strike there.
Not a big lead for Echeverria at first.
He takes off. 1-2 pitch is fouled off.
Maybe they had a hit and run on there, but on a 1-2, I'm not sure if that was what Chapman was doing, but he's done it a couple of times this season in spots like this, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was on there as they try to score a run and not get that double play.
Well, Millburn always plays an aggressive style of baseball, trying to keep their foot on the gas here against Delbarton. But first, a check over.
Sacento up to 54 pitches on the day. He's not on a pitch count, but just noting that in the top half of the third, already at 54.
Echeverria not going this time as the pitch is cut on and missed. Second strikeout of the inning, 4th overall for A.J. Sacento. And now there's 2 gone here in the third.
It's the second time Sacento's gotten a Miller hitter on some high heat. So he's been shown by the Miller batters that they can't hit that high heat, so I wouldn't be surprised if he kept going to that throughout the duration of this game.
Brings up Matthew Weiner. Struck out back in the second inning. Trying to come through for the Millers. First pitch to him is a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Millburn still looking for its first hit. Four walks and a hit by pitch issued by A.J. Sacento here today. He's been able to work around the trouble through 2 2/3. There goes the runner off first. Pitch is in the dirt. There'll be no throw down to second. Outstanding block by McBride. Stolen bag for Echeverria. And now runners at second and third. And a 1-1 count on Wiener. Schneider at third. Echeverria at second. Two outs here in the third. Sacento ready. Pitch is upstairs, and Wiener ahead in the count, 2-1. Chopped foul outside of third, and the count's even 2-2. So Sacento a strike away from getting out of the jam here in the third inning. Millburn not trying to leave a pair on. They've left at least one runner on in each of the first 2 innings. Sacento, a long stare in once again. Now he comes set. Checks the runners, delivers to the plate, and it's inside. It goes to the backstop. No, they're going to say it hit Wiener. Schneider was taken off trying to score, but they'll say it got the back leg of Matthew Wiener, and it loads the bases for Millburn here in the third inning.
Once again, inches away from the game's first run as it skimmed Matthew Wiener. And now Ethan Axelrod, who's actually dropped a spot in the lineup, has an opportunity to show his worth to get back up in that lineup spot here, as he's shown all season long that he can drive in runs at a prolific rate. So with runners at all bags, the table set. Axelrod in a huge spot for the Millers as they try to take a lead over Delbarton.
Axelrod struck out his first time up. It's been a long inning on the mound for A.J. Sacento in both time and pitches. This will be pitch number 61 of the outing, and it's grounded foul outside of third. 2 walks and a hit by pitch issued in this frame by Sacento. 4 walks and 2 hit by pitches issued overall for the Delbarton left-hander. Can Axelrod come through for Millburn? Infield plays back all around. 0-1 is waved at and missed, and it's 0-2. So now Axelrod is in a deep hole. Behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Sacento trying to buckle down here in this third inning. Another long staring for the sign for the Delbarton youngster. Now he's ready. 0-2 pitch, and it missed upstairs, 1-2.
Millers have the table set with no hits, which is probably what you would expect in a pitcher's duel.
Base runners have not been the issue today for Millburn. It's been getting a hit. And there's the first run of the game as Axelrod gets hit in the backside, and it's 1-0 Millburn. Bases loaded, hit by pitch from Ethan Axelrod gets him an RBI, and it has Millburn striking first on the road.
Ahead in the count, too. Sacento, once again, a costly error with the hit by pitch, walked the bases loaded. Or rather, walked 2 batters, hit Wiener.
So now it's Shy Abbott, and he swings and pops one in the air, back behind first base. Going to be a tough play, but out comes Garcia to retire the side. But Millburn strikes first on a bases-loaded hit by pitch to Ethan Axelrod. Millburn 1, Delbarton nothing, as we go to the bottom of the third.
Yeah, they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah, I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling.
One nothing Millburn as we go to the third inning here from Delbarton. Miller's with a run despite not recording a hit. It has not been the best game for A.J. Sacento in terms of his control. He has now walked a total of 4 batters and hit 3, and his 2 walks and 2 hit by pitches in the third have a run in for Millburn. But Delbarton's got the guys they want up. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 for the Green Wave. Matt Dahl, Kevin Hager, and Jack Harley against Drew Oppenheim, who bounced back in the second after a shaky first inning at him.
Yeah, as you said, settled down a bit. Had a fantastic second inning. And is looking to do the same here with a lead now. Oppenheim with a lead is dangerous. As he starts to settle in, doesn't have that pressure of needing to keep it scoreless.
Counts 1-1 on Dahl, who singled through the left side his first time up. Foul tipped into the glove of Abbott, 1-2. That one is ripped, and that's going to drop down into right field for a base hit. So Matt Dahl, 2 for 2 today with a pair of singles.
Dahl struggled a bit so far this season, hitting .319, but led this Delbarton team last year in hits, 26 on the season. And right now he's 2 for 2 and putting up numbers for Delbarton in a big way as they still trail 1-0, but a runner on first with no outs against Oppenheim.
Brings up Kevin Hager. Wiener at third, guarding against the bunt. Hager was hit by a pitch in the first and offers at that one and skies it in the air to right field. Meyerowitz there, puts it away, and he'll try and throw back behind the runner at first, but it'll be well late, 1 out.
Big out there for Oppenheim. He's gone into the third inning, 46 pitches. And a 1-pitch, 1-out situation for Oppenheim there is big after letting up a leadoff single.
Has not gone longer than 3 innings in his 2 appearances this season. This is his 3rd appearance in return from injury. Expecting him to go somewhere between 65 to 70 pitches today. Delivers to the plate, and it's a strike to Jack Harley, who also singled back in the first inning. Dahl, good speed, leads off first. That one is sawed off foul the other way, 0-2. Oh, 2 misses outside, 1-2.
After being behind in almost every count in that first inning, Oppenheim has yet to be behind since. Maybe one time when he had a walk last inning, but nothing since then.
That looked like a good pitch. Delayed call from our home plate umpire, but it's in there for called strike 3. Second strikeout today for Oppenheim, and 2 outs in the third.
That pitch froze both the batter and the umpire.
So Harley goes down. Up comes Sal Garcia with the bases loaded and 1 out in the first inning. He hit an infield pop-up to third base in what was a huge second out for Oppenheim, as he'll step off and chase Dahl back to the bag at first. Quickly comes set and fires, and the first pitch misses.
A quick pitch from Oppenheim, adding that to his repertoire. I've never seen him do that. Or rather, I haven't seen him do that this season, especially coming off an injury. Don't want to rush a pitch.
There goes the runner. Pitch is cut on and missed. Throw down to second, not in time. It goes into center field. Dahl doesn't realize it, and he stays put at second base. So stolen bag for Dahl. 1-1 count on Garcia. Tying run at second base for Delbarton.
That was a big stolen base by Dahl right there.
So now Garcia, chance to tie this game up with a base hit. Pitch is hit foul, out of play on the first base side, 1-2. So Abbott and Oppenheim will talk. Ball and 2 strikes here in the third inning. Oppenheim trying to have a shutdown inning after Millburn got him a run on a bases-loaded hit by pitch in the third. Southpaw comes set, and then time called at the plate by Garcia.
Oppenheim and Abbott really close, good chemistry. And Oppenheim before the season said Abbott is one of the best defensive catchers he's ever played with. And it's shown here.
And that's in there, called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts from Drew Oppenheim, and Delbarton will strand a runner at second base. We go to the fourth. Millburn, despite not recording a hit so far, leads 1-0.
Come on! Oh, what a bad call! You have no business being out there.
You know, I'm a person too.
To the fourth inning we go here from the campus of Delbarton in Morristown at Brian E. Fleury Field. I'm Kevin Connolly, joined alongside Adam Toombs. We thank you for joining us wherever you may be watching on this gorgeous Monday afternoon in the Garden State. And we have a top 5 matchup here in the state of New Jersey between second-ranked Delbarton and fourth-ranked Millburn, and it's the Millers on the road who have a 1-0 lead at them, despite not recording a hit so far in this game. It's been free passes from freshman starter A.J. Sacento that have yielded the 1 run for the Millers, as it'll be 8-9-1, and Greg Rosenthal goes up swinging and fouls the first pitch back out of play.
Yeah, Sacento today has been a little off with his control. As I mentioned before, 37 strikeouts on the season, only 11 walks, but today kind of the opposite for him, as he probably has an equal amount of both.
Yeah, he's got a total of 4 strikeouts, does Sacento. He's walked 4 and hit 3.
Yeah, So the inconsistency showing with that control.
0-2, missed outside. 1-2. Rosenthal has gone up swinging, though. First two pitches had good swings. Fouled them both off over the screen out of play. He was hit by a pitch in that second inning. 1-2. Popped up. Shallow right field. Garcia drifting back, puts it away for the first out.
Garcia had to travel a country mile to get to that one.
Tough to pick up the baseball, especially on the right side of the field. Sun sets right behind the trees you see behind home plate. So not the easiest. Everyone wearing sunglasses both at first, second, and in right. Jack Meyerowitz made a couple of nice plays in right. He tries to bunt the first pitch and can't drop it down, 0-1.
You'd think those walls in center field would work as a batter's eye. We can't even put our camera back there. Might as well work for something other than stopping home runs and stopping the NFHS network from doing what they do best.
Counts 0-2. Another foul ball from Meyerowitz as he was swinging away. 0-2. That one's bounced up there, 1-2. Adam, you're doing a great job behind the camera despite the tough conditions of our broadcast setup and also the sun right in our eyes here in foul ground and right field. This will be the 73rd pitch for Sacento, and it misses, and the count's 2-2.
That's what'll happen when you hit a couple of batters and have that bases loaded situation. You're going to throw a lot.
2-2 pitch is downstairs, and now the count's gone full 3-2. And yeah, Adam, you said it. That's how pitch counts get elevated. First two strikes, and then you try and dance around the zone looking for that perfect pitch, and you can't seem to find it. So the payoff pitch to Meyerowitz is hit on the ground, and that's a foul ball outside of third base.
Interesting enough, Meyerowitz gets on a ton for this Miller team, but doesn't strike out, doesn't walk that much, mostly gets on with bunts and hard-hit singles. Not an extra base guy, not a walk guy, not a strikeout guy, just hits for contact and sets the table for that leadoff guy as he walks there. An unusual walk for Meyerowitz.
Well, he's got a ton of speed, and he'll be on first base as things turn back to the top of the Millburn order in the fourth, and Robert Schneider.
Schneider in a similar position as last inning, except he's got the speedy Meyerowitz on first, trying to do something similar to what he accomplished last time at the plate.
Schneider 0 for 1 today, grounded out to third base in the first, walked in, scored in the third. And he takes outside 1-0.
That run in the third only extended his lead in the SEC Conference in runs, now has 30 on the season.
Christian Zabrowski beginning to throw in the Delbarton bullpen. And it's been impressive. 8 free passes Sacento has issued, but only allowing the 1 run.
I'm impressed you could see the Delbarton dugout from here. Or rather, bullpen.
Cut on and missed, 1-1. I mean, Sacento has been unhittable. I mean, Millburn doesn't have a hit. But now the 5 walks and 3 hit by batters.
When you're not giving them anything to hit, they're not going to hit it.
Check on the runner over there at first.
Oh.
Bang, bang play. Meyerowitz just got his hand back in there. Sacento has paid a lot of attention to the speedy Millburn players. There goes Meyerowitz. Pitch is a called strike. Throw down to second, not in time. Stolen bag for Jack Meyerowitz. Adam, as you said, he's got a ton of speed, and he showcases it there. Third stolen base today for Millburn. But the count's now 1-2 on Schneider. This will be pitch 80 for Sacento in this outing with one out here in the fourth. And he certainly takes his time out there on the mound.
Had the same count to Meyerowitz in his last at-bat, ended up walking him. So a good timeout by Sacento to try and gather his thoughts and play at a pace he likes.
1-2. Missed upstairs, and it's 2-2. Sacento will step off once again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner at second. 1-0 Millburn here in the fourth. Check swing, fouled off over the third base dugout, out of play. Meyerowitz, short lead off second. 2-2 is hit and into left field for a base hit. Meyerowitz will be stopped at third as the throw comes in. They'll throw back behind him, and he's in there. Bang, bang play over there at third. Meyerowitz took a big turn around the bag. It was a verbal sign from Brian Chapman to hold him up. And then Delbarton trying to throw back behind him, but he just got his hand in there. It's the first hit of the game for Millburn off the bat of Robert Schneider, and they'll have runners at the corners with 1 out once again here in the fourth.
You think if they sent Meyerowitz, he would have been safe at home? It would have been a close play. The relay came in.
I think he might have been out by about 45 feet. It was a shallow hit ball, and Mills has a big arm out there and left. But good decision made by Millburn. Now it's Fujita who will dig in, 0 for 2 today. Harley guarding against the bunt at third. Now he'll back up a few steps. And they're going to suicide squeeze. Fujita gets it down, and it is a base hit. Everybody's going to be safe. Suicide squeeze from Kigo Fujita, and Millburn has a 2-0 lead.
You said it earlier. Aggression is the name of the game for the Millers. Right there, a suicide squeeze. That's the second time they've done that this season. And right there, it paid off in a big way as no outs were recorded. Fujita perfectly placed bunt. And with a speedy Meyerowitz at third, that should always be on.
So it goes as an RBI single for Fujita on the suicide squeeze. Schneider down to second, 2-0 Millburn. And in comes the big swing and designated hitter, Steven Echeverria. Been up twice and walked twice. They actually put that as an error on the scoreboard. I don't know why, as Echeverria skies that one into center field. Dahl underneath it. Schneider bluffs a tag up from second. And now there's 2 outs. Yeah, not sure why that went on as an error on the scoreboard. We're not going to put it as an error in our book because, there was no play made. Sacento never threw over to first base, and he fielded it cleanly. So it does go as a hit for Fujita on the suicide squeeze. And now Alex Wilson, who's also 0 for 2 today, will dig in.
That's what they call a home score.
Yeah, it doesn't count against Sacento's ERA if they put it as an error, I guess. So Millburn gets another run. Wilson can't pull the trigger on the off-speed, 0-1. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-1. Wonder how much longer Sacento will go. Borowski's still throwing in the bullpen. This will be pitch number 87 through 3 2/3. Time called at the plate by Wilson.
Sacento trying to find something here, trying to work at his own pace after a hit by Schneider and a crazy bump by Fujita.
Pitch misses downstairs, and it's 2-1. Delbarton not happy with the strike zone on that last pitch by Sacento. Millburn has added another run on a pair of hits, one being a suicide squeeze. That's a check swing, back to the mound. Sacento fields, throws to first, and it is in time to retire the side. But Millburn gets their first 2 hits of the game. One plates a run, and they add one more. 2-0 Millers as we go to the bottom half of the fourth.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
2-0 Millburn as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning, and Drew Oppenheim back out there to start the fourth. This will be the longest outing of his season. Told you in his first 2 starts returning from injury, he threw 3 innings each. He's at 54 pitches through 3 as Millburn will get some arms up in the bullpen. They score a run in the third and a run in the fourth. And Oppenheim, after running into some trouble in the first inning, has bounced back with 2 really impressive second and thirds.
As you said, he's working the farthest he's gone in a game so far this season. But the Millers have sent Henry Jacobs to the bullpen to get warm just in case Oppenheim doesn't make it through or reaches his pitch count in this inning.
Well, he'll face the bottom half of the Delbarton order. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. Russo, Dill, and Mazzelli to bat against Oppenheim. Certainly now Brian Chapman going to try and steal as many outs as possible from Oppenheim out there on the mound. He would love to get him through this inning and work with just 9 outs remaining. First pitch in there for a called strike to Russo. Delbarton's scoreboard still has not adjusted the suicide squeeze from Fujita. That should be a base hit. I still have it as an error. We're going to leave it on our scoreboard as a hit because that's what it should be properly scored as. 1-1 upstairs, 2-1. That's upstairs, and it's now 3-1. Typically when you see teams get leads on Delbarton, it's always so tough for them to try and close it out because you start to see the finish line as that's upstairs, and it's a 5-pitch wonk to begin the fourth inning for Robert Russo. But you start to see that finish line, Adam, and you get anxious wanting to get there, and that's exactly when Delbarton will strike, and all of a sudden they have a 4 or 5 run inning, and then they're the ones that are able to close it out with their power arms coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, and Oppenheim, who hasn't gone 4 innings yet, with what you said, plus not having that longevity yet this season, Oppenheim's in a tricky situation here against a good Delbarton team.
Russo leads off first, scoring to bunt and fouling it off is Aiden Dill. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out today.
Same thing happened last inning with Oppenheim. Runner got on with a base hit that was Dahl and then recorded a one pitch out, got out of the inning fairly quickly and got his boys back up to bat to give him a 2-0 lead.
Well, he would love a ground ball here. Millburn guarding against the bunt. Wiener way in at third. Delivering to the plate. Dill not showing bunt, and he takes outside, and it's 1-1.
It's a tight strike zone today for both pitchers, and both sides getting a little anxious, or rather antsy.
1-1. This time he does square to bunt, fouls it off Abbott, and it's now 1-2. So I would imagine the bunt will be off with 2 strikes.
Wiener's still playing on the fringe of that infield grass. But he'll most likely take a couple of steps back. Once he sets, there he goes.
Decent sized lead at first for Robert Russo. Oppenheim comes set, delivers to the plate, and the pitch is hit on the ground and through into left field for a base hit. So Aiden Dill comes through with a 1-2 single, and the first 2 have reached here in the 4th inning for Delbarton. So Drew Oppenheim in some trouble here in the 4th. First 2 have reached. Marco Mazzelli at the plate. The 8 and 9 hitters will come up next for the Green Wave.
Not how you'd want to start the inning after your offense has produced 2 runs in 2 straight innings. Or rather, a run each inning, 2 runs total.
Mazzelli walked his last time up. And Oppenheim an inside move. Millburn guarding against the bunt. Axelrod in at third. Wiener even with the bag. Mazzelli squares the bunt, drops it down, back to the mound. Only play is at first. Rosenthal will cover. Successful sacrifice for Mazzelli. And now the tying runs are in scoring position with 1 out here in the 4th for Delbarton.
It's a fantastic play call by Delbarton. As you get 2 runners on, you're down 2. And now with one of your better hitters up, you have an opportunity to drive in 2 and tie this ball game.
It'll be the catcher, Zach McBride, out of the 9-hole. Flew out to right field in the 2nd. And now a quick meeting on the mound here for Millburn to try and go over strategy. Runners are at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out and a 2-0 lead for Millburn here in the bottom of the 4th. Kevin Connolly, Adam Tubes with you live here on D1 Media Pro. Thank you for spending part of your Monday with us on the National Federation of High School Sports. Game got underway about 15 minutes late. Millburn didn't get here till about 3:20 Eastern time. We were scheduled for a 4 o'clock start. Didn't start till about 4:17. But it has been a good game once it got underway. 2 teams posted zeros across the first 2 innings, but Millburn on a bases-loaded hit by pitch, scoring a run in the 3rd, and then scoring a run in the 4th on a suicide squeeze. And now they'll throw over to third base. They thought they had the runner picked off in Russo. They were trying to go with the hidden ball trick. I don't think ball was put back in play, so Millburn going with a little bit of trickery. Doesn't work. But now Oppenheim will focus on the batter, which is Zach McBride. And the first pitch to him is in there for a called strike.
McBride only 1 RBI on the season thus far. And in a big spot here, he's trying to tack on 2 more to that total.
Infield's back. Wiener even with bag at third base. Oh, 1 comes inside, misses, 1-1.
Oppenheim slowly starting to reach that pitch count of 70 to 72, up to 66 now.
Hasn't thrown more than 65 in a game this year, hasn't gone longer than 3 innings. That pitch misses inside, and it's now 2-1.
Oppenheim hasn't used that off-speed pitch all that much today, gone with that changeup fastball combination. But that off-speed, that curve he's got, ooh, filthy.
This will be pitch number 68. And it's driven and through into center field for a base hit. That'll tie the game. It's a 2-run single for Zach McBride. The ball gets away. He heads down to second, makes a big turn there, and will put the brakes on. 2-run single for McBride, advances to second on a throwing error in center by Wilson, and we're tied at 2 here in the 4th.
A big hit there for McBride. Oppenheim struggling this inning. That bunt to move over the runners paid off, and Delbarton has tied this one at 2, but timely hitting from McBride just placed it perfectly up the middle.
So throwing error in center field allows McBride to head down to second. It was Wilson who was coming up throwing, trying to get Aiden Dill scoring from second, but the throw wouldn't have been in time, and it was way off the mark. Now back to the top of the order in Griffin Mills. He's 0 for 2 today against Oppenheim. First pitch to him, misses outside, 1-0.
Millers had to work hard for their 2 runs as Delbarton gets theirs in pairs.
There's a called strike, and the count's 1-1. 2-2 here in the 4th between Millburn and Delbarton. Zach McBride coming through with a 2-run single. There's a called strike, and it's 1-2.
Emery Jacobs in that Millburn bullpen starting to throw a bit harder, as they had a messenger come down to tell him he's got to get ready, as Oppenheim is about to eclipse that 72 mark on the game.
Now we'll have a late courtesy runner coming out to second base to run for McBride.
I was wondering why that didn't come out earlier. McBride, the catcher for, unless he's DHing today.
So the catcher, McBride, heads into the dugout as it's Phil Fulmar who will come on and run for him. So Fulmar, good speed at second. Pitch is cut on and missed, strike 3. 4th strikeout for Oppenheim, and there's 2 outs in the 4th.
Oppenheim goes with the high heat and gets him swinging. As on 72 pitches, he's recorded 2 outs. I would assume this is Oppenheim's last batter.
Well, it'll be Matt Dahl, who's 2 for 2 with a pair of singles today. First pitch to him is in there for a strike.
Off-speed pitch froze him. Second time it's frozen a batter today, the first on a strikeout.
Oppenheim chases Fulmar back to the bag. Oh, and 2 on Dahl.
This would be a huge turn of events for Oppenheim, who had 1 out a moment ago, struck out the leadoff hitter Mills.
Trying to strand a go-ahead run at second base in Fulmar, who's running for McBride, whose 2-run single tied this game. That one served in the air to right field. Meyerowitz doesn't have to move much. He puts it away to end the inning, but not before Delbarton ties the game on a 2-run single from Zach McBride. We go to the 5th, tied at 2 between the Millers and the Green Wave. A.J. Sacento's day is over on the mound. He goes 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, and he hit 3 batters in the process as well. It'll be Christian Zabrowski who takes over for him on the mound to begin this 5th inning, as Delbarton has gotten Sacento off the hook with that 2-run 4th on the 2-run single by Zach McBride.
And this is not an easy task for the Millers. They take out a lefty that's throwing very hard and put in a righty that throws just the same, as Zabrowski leads the team in strikeouts this season. And as you said earlier, they are in their county finals, but with a deep rotation like Delbarton, they have the ability to throw one of their top pitchers in relief against the Miller team that needs to score a run here in the top half of the 5th to draw away from this tie, as Oppenheim's day is most likely done.
Yeah, they're going to save Aiden Dill for that county championship game, as the first pitch from Zabrowski gets away 1-0. Zabrowski on the season, 31 innings pitched. He's given up 19 hits, 9 runs, 5 of them earned, 14 walks, and 42 strikeouts. It's a 1.13 ERA for the Delbarton Junior, as the 1-0 is in there for a called strike. He'll face Wiener, Axelrod, and Abbott here in the 5th inning for Millburn.
And as I said, this rotation goes so deep. They have 4 pitchers under that 2 ERA mark, 1 just over. So a strong rotation for Delbarton, and they can afford to throw one of their guys here in a big situation against Millburn.
2-1. Missed outside, and it's now 3-1. Wiener today struck out and was hit by a pitch against Sacento, and has only 2 at-bats on him. 3-1, downstairs, ball 4. So that's the 9th free pass issued by Delbarton pitching today, and Wiener on for the 2nd time. So it brings up Ethan Axelrod. He drove in the first run of the game with a bases-loaded hit by pitch in the 3rd inning. He squares the bunt, drops it down, right back to the mound. They'll go to first, so a successful sacrifice from Axelrod, and it puts Wiener in scoring position with 1 out.
A little deja vu there in the top half of the 5th, as the Millers do exactly what Delbarton did last inning, moving over the runner into scoring position for Shy Abbott, as he looks to drive home that run to break the 2-2 tie.
Abbott walked and popped up his first 2 at-bats today. He takes the first pitch that's in there for a called strike.
Delbarton playing very shallow now. They were back at least five or 6 steps. Now they're in a couple more.
And Abbott offers at the pitch as it's on the ground to 3rd. They'll go to 2nd, and they got Wiener. They'll tag him out, and they'll get the lead runner. Poor base running from Matthew Wiener runs Millburn into and out on the bases as there's 2 gone.
Matt Wiener just careless on the base path, and an unforced error by the Millers once again.
So Abbott will reach on the fielder's choice. Peyton Kahn will come in and run for him, as now it brings up Greg Rosenthal with 1 on and 2 out. Throw back behind Kahn, and he's in there standing up on the swipe tag from Russo.
Fantastic throw to the first baseman. Almost had Kahn sleeping at first.
One-0. Rosenthal on the bottom of this order for Millburn, not afraid to swing the bat. He's had some good swings here against Sacento and Zabrowski. Fouled that one off, and it's 1-1. Check on Kahn over there at first, not in time. He just got back in there safely.
Second time bang-bang play at first with Kahn there.
Kahn, big lead. Another check on him at first, and again, he's back in safely.
Zabrowski's got a nice move over to first. Kahn able to get back in once again, but another close play as he takes a massive lead off first.
He's going, throw down to second, and I say time was called first, so actually, no, check that. They're going to say a balk was called. So Kahn will be able to stay at second. No pitch on the play. So Zabrowski balks and Kahn in scoring position. So probably all in all a trade that Millburn would take, because Abbott would have been out on that ground out to third base where Wiener, they threw behind him and got him straight too far off of second base. So 2 outs and now one of the fastest players on the team, and Peyton Kahn in scoring position. 1-1's the count on Greg Rosenthal. He takes a pitch inside, and it's 2-1.
Rosenthal not new to big moments like this, as he had a screaming double against Old Tappan to break that game open, and has an opportunity to do the same here against Delbarton, with Kahn looming at second.
Takes a called strike, and it's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second. 2-2 here in the 5th between Millburn and Delbarton. Zabrowski set, kicks and fires, and a half-hearted swing that took the glove off of McBride. It'll be a catcher's interference, and Rosenthal goes down to first.
That was the craziest at-bat. We had a balk and a catcher's interference. So once again, the Millers have runners at first and second, and they've yet to record a hit.
And now Jack Meyerowitz digs in. 0 for 1, fly out to right and a walk. Bottom of the order for Millburn. Getting guys on. Question is, can they get them in? So it's a catcher's interference, E2, that has Rosenthal aboard. First pitch to Meyerowitz, misses outside, 1-0.
Rosenthal swung late on that last at-bat. Didn't know if he saw the glove, maybe just swung to try and get the catcher's interference, but it was a delayed swing and it was kind of awkward. Not sure if he noticed something and swung late purposefully, but nevertheless, he's on first.
That's way outside as well, and it's now 2-0. And now time is called as we'll get a meeting on the mound for Delbarton. Head coach Bruce Chattel will come out and talk to Zabrowski, who hasn't had his best command since coming in this game in relief. It's been a walk, sack bunt, fielder's choice, he balked, and then Rosenthal reaching on the catcher's interference.
It's two similar outings, except Zabrowski's has come in 1 inning. Sacentos came in came in 4.
So as the rest of the Delbarton team waits on the mound, Bruce Chattel is speaking with our home plate umpire, and now he won't even conversate with his players on the bump. He'll go right back into the dugout.
I wonder what he was talking about. Maybe the catcher's interference on the last play, or maybe...
I mean, if you're going to try to argue about a play, doing it 2 pitches later typically isn't your best course of action.
Yeah. Or
maybe notifying the umpires of something that Millburn is doing. I'm not sure. Or just allowing his infield to try and help Zabrowski through it and him just having a conversation with the umpires. But the first 3 have missed to Meyerowitz, and the leadoff man and Robert Schneider is on deck. I would imagine Robert's or I should say Meyerowitz, will be taking all the way here 3-0. He is, and it's right down Broadway for a called strike, 3-1.
Meyerowitz was down 1-2 in his last at-bat, worked a walk, a rare walk for Meyerowitz. And right here in a 3-1 count has an opportunity to do it 2 straight at-bats.
3-1, outside, ball 4. Bases loaded for Millburn here in the 5th inning.
A tight strike zone still from the home plate umpire. Delbarton dugout getting restless. Delbarton head coach starting to walk around. Not sure if he's having a discussion with his players or the umpire.
So up comes Robert Schneider. 1 for 2 today, a ground out, a walk, and a single. For the second time in this game, Millburn has loaded the bases without recording a base hit. First pitch to Schneider, check swing, he went around, 0-1.
What a pitch from Zabrowski, starting it off with enough speed and had Schneider fooled, as he was most likely looking for a fastball as he was ahead of that one, 0-1.
That one ripped into center field. It gets down for a base hit. 1 run comes in to score. 2nd run being waved around third. Play at the plate, not in time. 2-run single for Robert Schneider. And Millburn goes back on top. It's 4-2 Millers.
What a piece of hitting from Robert Schneider. Just what the doctor ordered, as he rips one right up the middle and drives in 2 runs, puts the Millers up 4-2. One swing of the bat turns this game sideways as the Millers regain their 2-run lead after Delbarton scored 2 in the home half of the 4th. They come back with 2 of their own in the top half of the 5th and lead 4-2.
Meyerowitz stayed put at second as the first pitch to Fujita is upstairs. Fujita had an RBI single, goes in the book as a single, on a suicide squeeze his last time up, which made it 2-0 Millburn. Delbarton responded with 2 runs in the 4th. Millburn with 2 of their own in the 5th to lead 4-2 on the 2-run single from Robert Schneider. Fujita takes upstairs 2-0.
You've speed all around the base path for the Millers right now, with Meyerowitz at second, Schneider at first. A hit anywhere will most likely score Meyerowitz. It'd be close to send Schneider first to home. It'd have to be hit pretty deep.
Big swing there by Fujita, and it's 2-1. But how about Millburn getting to Christian Zabrowski, who came in with a 1.13 ERA? They tag him for 2 runs here in the 5th inning.
7 total hits on the game today, but 6 runs. Shows you what kind of day it's been for the Delbarton and Millburn pitchers today.
Yeah, and it just has not been a pinpoint control date for these Delbarton pitchers, as that one missed way outside, and it's now 3-1. Upstairs, ball 4, bases loaded once again for Millburn.
The Millers are very disciplined at the plate. In their game against St. Peter's, they had 11 walks in 1 inning, and they brought that to help them win that game against St. Peter's. And here today, those walks have helped them draw away from Delbarton for the time being.
Steven Echeverria digs in with bases loaded and 2 outs. And he takes the first pitch in there for a called strike. Echeverria 0 for 1 today, a pair of walks and a fly out to center field. Delbarton going to get an arm down in the bullpen to start stretching, as Christian Zabrowski has not had his best stuff here today. Can Echeverria open this game up even further for Millburn? Takes another pitch for a called strike, and it's now 0-2.
It was 2 early outs from Zabrowski when he got that out on Abbott, or rather, Wiener on the Abbott hit over to third. He had that rhythm. He had those 2 outs that he needed. But ever since then, he's kind of lost rhythm. But right now, in an 0-2 count to Echeverria.
Massive lead at first for Fujita, not being held on. 0-2 pitch is hit foul out of play down the right field line. So Echeverria able to stay alive. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Millburn trying to take its largest lead of the game. And a pickoff. Check on the runner at third and first, but nothing doing. Zabrowski, long staring again. Now he'll finally come set. 0-2 pitch home is hit in the air to left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Cut off by the center fielder, Dahl. 2 runs come in to score. Stopping at third is Fujita. It's a 2-run double for Steven Echeverria. And it's now 6-2 Millburn.
2 straight hits right to center field. Echeverria and Schneider go back to back. Or rather, Schneider and Echeverria 2 hits in this inning to extend their lead to 6-2, and they're starting to pile it on a bit here as they have their 2nd hit of the inning and the 4th run to come in.
And Millburn has batted around now in the 5th. Alex Wilson will be the 9th batter to come to the plate here against Christian Zabrowski. As Millburn has their largest lead of the game, it's 6-2 Millers, with 2 outs in the top of the 5th.
But as I said before the game started, I said this Millburn lineup 1 through 9 doesn't have any holes. And as they batted in the lineup here, they've scored 4 runs after having 2 outs on them early in this inning. The bottom half of their lineup came up big with walks. The top half of their lineup drove them in. And the Millers now atop of Delbarton, 6-2.
And threatening for more with Wilson at the plate and runners at 2nd and 3rd. And the first pitch he takes is a fastball in there for a called strike. Zabrowski came in with a 1.13 ERA. Millburn has tagged him for 4 earned runs here in the 5th inning. And that one is popped up. Foul territory out of play. And the count's 0-2. Zabrowski had Echeverria behind the count 0-2 before he took a fastball and sent it into the gap to left center to score 2. He stands at 2nd. Fujita's at 3rd. Every batter that's come to the plate here in this 5th inning, with the exception of Axelrod, who dropped down a sac bunt, has reached. Can Wilson keep it alive? Zabrowski needing to end this half inning here. 0-2. Outside, 1-2.
Just to note, all these runs that have come in to score will not count towards Zabrowski's ERA, as the catcher's interference came in before the Millers scored their run. So Zabrowski's ERA will stay put after he let up. I don't think he let up a run before the catcher's interference.
Yeah, catcher's interference put runners at 1st and 2nd with 2 outs.
Yeah. So no earned runs here for the Millers, but they don't care because they lead 6-2.
And that one hit in the air, right center field. It'll be Dahl who cuts over to make the play, but the damage is done. 4 runs for Millburn. The 2 big blows, the 2-run single for Robert Schneider, and the 2-run double for Steven Echeverria. We go to the home half of the 5th. Millburn looking to pull off the upset on the road. They lead 6-2.
It's his responsibility as Maldonado cranks one into deep left field. You can forget about that. Chris Maldonado with home run number 2 today. He's go
as this one is ripped into left field. A bat flip and a homer for Tyler.
Pitch is hit in the air, left field. Going over Fiore. He's back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. A leadoff home run for St. Joseph's Regional. Ellis Garcia gets things started for the Green Knights. Here in the payoff pitch is hit in the air, deep right center field. That ball is high, it is far, and it is gone! A grand slam for Matthew Monteleone. And it kicks and fires. That pitch is hit in the air. Deep right field. Get out of town. Michael, you waited up. And Marcus Johnson smacked it out of the yard. A leadoff bomb from the Cougars center fielder. Play the 1-2. Hit in the air. Deep left field. That ball is high. It is far. It is long gone off the house. Makai Moore with a go-ahead 2-run shot way out of here. At Miller. Pitch is a breaking ball, cut on and missed. Hard strikes out the side of the third. We head to the home half. But the first pitch to Hollander is belted in the air. Deep left field. That ball is high, it is far, and it is gone. Matthew Hollander wastes no time getting Millburn on the board here in the first inning.
Bottom of the fifth here in Morristown, 6-2. Millburn is in front. Then go to the bullpen. Henry Jacobs takes over on the mound for Drew Oppenheim, who goes 4 innings, gives up 5 hits, 2 runs, walked 1, struck out 4, and also hit a batter. Has now 9 outs to go. Or I should say, 9 outs to go for Millburn, and they have a 4-run cushion. Heart of the Delbarton order, 3-hole hitter Kevin Hager leads off and fouls off the first pitch.
Jacobs pitched the last game against Montclair. He closed it out pretty nicely for the Millers and has really adapted to his role as a closer after he started as center fielder, hurt his leg a couple of times, and has become a pitcher only, hasn't batted in a couple of games, and is now coming in a big moment for the Millers as they lead up by 4 against Delbarton.
Hasn't thrown that much this season, just 4 2/3 innings. But, I mean, he's been sensational when he's been out there. Hasn't given up a hit, a run, or a walk. 4 2/3 and 8 strikeouts.
Ground ball pitcher, as that one's popped up.
It's on the infield. Wiener going back, but it'll be the shortstop Schneider to call him off, and he backpedals onto the outfield grass to make the play.
Rob Schneider, the sure-handed shortstop, out there behind Jacobs. He's committed to Scranton.
So 1 away, and Jack Harley will dig in. Harley 1 for 2 today, singled and struck out, and swings at the first pitch, drops it into center field. Wilson dives, can't make the play. It'll get behind him. Harley on his way to second. He'll stop right there with a 1-out double.
So Harley, a nice piece of hitting. Wilson kind of undercut that one and just fell right over his glove into the outfield, trickled back. Meyerowitz had to retrieve. And Harley took advantage of that, and he advanced to second.
So 1-out double for Jack Harley as it brings up Sal Garcia, who's 0 for 2, and Delbarton being aggressive against Henry Jacobs.
Wilson was kind of in the middle of diving for it and just playing it straight up, and it cost him an extra base hit for his squad.
First pitch in there for a called strike to Garcia. Still just in the bottom of the fifth. It has been a long game here in Morristown. Delbarton not really able to throw a lot of strikes. Millburn with 6 runs on just 4 hits.
Well, when you have walk after walk after walk and almost 90 pitches thrown by your starter, this game is most likely going to be a long one.
Jacobs misses upstairs, 2-1. Big swing by Garcia, fouled it straight back to the screen, and it evens up the count at 2-2.
It's a big pitch for Jacobs. It's a big pitch for Jacobs as He's a strike away from 2 outs. And with a runner on second, a 1-out strikeout is big, especially as you said.
Oh, he got it as a breaking ball hung on there by Abbott, and there's 2 away.
As you said, when you're up on Delbarton, you think you're in the driver's seat. But right when you think you're in cruise control, they'll hit you hard. And they have the ability to score 4 or 5 runs in 1 inning. And Jacobs can't put cruise control on just yet.
Brings up Robert Russo after Garcia strikes out. Russo 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the first. He walked and scored back in the 4th inning. He takes first pitch upstairs, 1-0. Now time called at the plate by Russo. Millburn gets the day off tomorrow. Then they'll make a trip down the Jersey Shore to Red Bank on Wednesday night. Take on Red Bank Catholic, who's ranked 5th in the state of New Jersey. As that one is popped up into right field, Meyerowitz camps under it. He puts it away for the final out of the inning. Huge shutdown inning on the mound for Henry Jacobs after Millburn posts a 4 spot in the top half. We're off to the 6th. It's 6-2. Millburn in front of Delbarton. Six-2 Millburn as we go to the 6th inning here in Morristown. Miller's put up a 4 spot in the 5th and get a shutdown inning from Henry Jacobs in the home half. It'll be Wiener, Axelrod, and Abbott to bat here in the 6th inning. Wiener led things off in the 5th with a walk. Millburn sent 9 guys to the plate in that 5th frame. Kevin Connolly joined alongside Adam Toombs here from the campus of Delbarton for this New Jersey top 5 matchup between 4th-ranked Millburn and 2nd-ranked Delbarton. Big week for both teams. Millburn on Saturday will be playing in the championship game of the Greater Newark Tournament, where they'll take on Seton Hall Prep. As for Delbarton, they will be playing in the Morris County Tournament on Saturday evening as well. First pitch to Wiener is in the air to left field, and it'll be the center fielder, Dahl, just calling off Mills at the last second, who put it away. 1 pitch, 1 out for Christian Zabrowski, who got roughed up a bit in that 5th.
Matt Wiener walked his last time at bat, and there flies out, but the Millers started this game off hot. It didn't really start until that 3rd inning.
And then on the first pitch swinging is Axelrod. He sends it in the air to left field and deep. Mills going back right in front of the track. He leaps up and makes the play.
What a grab in left field as he robs Axelrod of extra bases. What a play.
About a 12-foot wall around the outfield here at Delbarton. It sent Mills all the way back to that state champion sign, and he reached his glove up, made the play. 2 pitches and 2 quick outs for Zabrowski here in the 6th. It brings up Shea Abbott, and he takes the first pitch. It's in there for a called strike.
Might have been a game-saving play, as that would have been extra bases for Axelrod. And Abbott, a guy who can drive in runs at a prolific rate, would have tried to extend their lead. But Mills, the Northwestern commit, A fantastic play in left to keep this one off the base path.
Chopped foul, and it's 1-2. So Zabrowski gives up 4 unearned runs in that 5th inning. He's trying to bounce back with a very quick 1-2-3 6th. Zabrowski set, 1-2 pitch home. Just misses outside, and the count's 2-2. Caught on and missed, strike 3, so bounce back getting on the mound for Zabrowski. He retires Millburn in order. Delbarton going to have to wake up the bats against Henry Jacobs as there's 6 outs left to play for the Green Wave, and they trail by 4. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Henry Jacobs able to work around a 1-out double in his first inning of work in the 5th. He'll face the bottom 3rd of the Delbarton order. It'll be Dill, Maselli, and McBride. Millburn in front by 4, 6-2, thanks to their 4-run 5th inning. Delbarton bats have been quieted by the combination of Oppenheim and Jacobs here today for the Millers. Only runs they scored came on the 2-run single from Zach McBride back in the 4th, which tied this game up at 2 runs apiece. Kevin Connolly, Adam Tubes with you here from Delbarton. Millburn looking to pull off the road upset. A couple of tough road games on the schedule for Millburn. They go to Red Bank Catholic on Wednesday night. They'll play Columbia on Thursday, off day Friday before Saturday's Greater Newark Tournament Championship game. They'll take on Seton Hall Prep for the 3rd time this year. First pitch is in there to Aiden Dill for a called strike.
And it's a bottom half of the order that's actually produced the 2 Delbarton runs today. And as you said, the Zach McBride 2 RBI single.
Told you Delbarton also in their county tournaments, the Morris County Tournament Championship for the Green Wave on Saturday night, as that pitch is lofted in the air to shallow center field. Wilson coming on to make the play. So Dill retired for the 2nd time today. It'll bring up Marco Maselli. Walked and dropped down a sac bunt in his 2 plate appearances. Delbarton will take on West Morris in their county title. Those 2 teams have not played this season. So Maselli digs in. First pitch misses, 1-0.
Maselli's made a couple of nice plays in right today.
Fouls that pitch off. Might have gotten a piece of our home plate umpire, 1-1. One's a breaking ball that stays inside, 2-1.
Jacob's more of a fastball heavy pitcher, doesn't go to his off speed, maybe a changeup every once in a while. He more throws that heat. He's not afraid to throw it right in the strike zone.
Well, He goes upstairs and misses with the fastball, 3-1. But imagine this will be Henry Jacobs' game to finish unless he gets into some serious trouble.
Nobody warming up in that Miller bullpen, so.
3-1 pitch, swinging is Mazzelli, and it's now 3-2.
There's that changeup.
Okay, Jacobs battle back in the count. He's got it back to full at 3-2. Mazzelli steps out of the box, trying to throw off the rhythm of Jacobs. Three-two. Outside, ball 4. Mazzelli on with a 1-out walk.
Jacobs lost him there. He was 3-2 in that one and had an opportunity to close him out, but couldn't come up with it there. And now there's a runner at first, and Delbarton is threatened here with one gone.
Will be Zach McBride. His 2-run single tied the game up in the 4th. Only 2 runs Delbarton has today. And he takes first inside, 1-0. For Mazzelli, who's on first, second time he walked today. Still does not have an official at-bat in his 3 plate appearances with 2 walks and a sac bunt. Chopped on the ground to third, backhanded by Wiener. Long throw over to first, not in time. Infield single for Zach McBride, and Delbarton has runners at first and second with 1 out here in the 6th.
A tough play for Wiener at third, and somebody like Wiener at third who's got a good arm but was on his back foot there. A tough play, and McBride once again comes up big with a single there, and has put Delbarton in a position to cut the lead if the leadoff hitter here can do something big.
Phil Fulmar comes on to run at first base for McBride as Griffin Mills will dig in. He's 0 for 3 today. Just made a spectacular play on the move up against the wall in left field. Jacobs in trouble here in the 6th. His first pitch is a called strike. Good speed on the bases for Delbarton. Mazzelli is at second. Fulmar is at first. Peyton Kahn has actually come into the game for Millburn. He replaces Axelrod at first base.
Chapman's gone to Kahn the last few games, as he believes he's the more sure-handed first baseman for the Millers.
As that one is popped foul and out of play, and the count's 0-2.
That would have been right where my car was. Thank God I moved it.
Whoever gave you that heads up.
Saved me a couple $1,000.
Would have been a tough ride back home for you with a broken windshield. Counts 0-2 here on Mills. Jacobs looking for a big second out of the 6th inning. Goes with a fastball, misses upstairs, and it's 1-2.
Tough call for the home plate umpire. Looked like it might have skimmed the top half of that zone, but a tight strike zone all game, and he sticks with it there.
And time called at the plate by Mills.
Somebody's got to warn this guy.
Oh, yeah, someone just parked with that last foul ball left. Jacobs set, checks the runners. Big 1-2 pitch on the way, and it's outside. Jacobs 2-2 home. Is in there, called strike 3. Mills down looking for a huge second out for Henry Jacobs.
What an off-speed pitch by Jacobs there. Froze him at the plate. He doesn't go to that off-speed pitch that much, but when he does, it's effective like that, and he gets a key second out with runners at first and second, and the Millers still lead by 4.
Second strikeout today for Henry Jacobs. Matt Dahl digs in. 2 for 3. Last time up, flew out to right field. All those 3 at-bats were against Oppenheim. Now it's his first at-bat here against Jacobs. With 2 on and 2 out. First pitch swinging on the ground, past Jacobs to second. Rosenthal throws to first in time. Into and out of trouble goes Henry Jacobs in the 6th inning. We're off to the 7th. Millburn 3 outs away from victory. They lead 6-2 over Delbarton. Delbarton goes back to the bullpen as we get set for the start of the 7th inning. Christian Zabrowski is done. 2 innings, 2 hits, 4 unearned runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. They turn to Ryan Holman.
Ryan Holman, one of the 4 Delbarton pitchers that has a sub-2 ERA, 1.75, 12 innings pitched, 4 runs, 3 earned, 8 walks, 10 Ks on the season for Holman as he looks to set down the Miller lineup and go to the home half and try to cut the lead and hopefully tie or take the lead over Millburn if you're a Delbarton fan or player.
Imperative for Holman to keep this deficit at 4 runs. Millburn with a 4-run 5th inning. That is the difference so far in this game. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead with a run in the 3rd and a run in the 4th. Delbarton tied things up with a 2-run 4th inning, but Millburn answered right away with 4 runs in the 5th. We go to the 7th, 8, 9, and 1. Rosenthal, Meyerowitz, and Schneider to bat here for the Millers.
It's those 3 guys that have produced for the Millers today, as Rosenthal got on with the catcher's interference, and that had a ripple effect for the rest of the lineup as they scored 4 runs in that inning.
Rosenthal 0 for 2 today. He was hit by a pitch, popped up to second, and then that catcher's interference as he swings at the first pitch and pops it up on the third base side, but it'll go out of play, and it's 0-1.
Wish I had some sunglasses over here.
Yeah, sun setting right in our faces over the trees behind home plate and on the third base side. Pitch misses outside, and it's 1-1. Called strike, 1-2. Holman ahead in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. And that one is hit over the shortstop's head, Hager, and into center field for a base hit. So Greg Rosenthal has been swinging the bat aggressively at the plate, and he's on with his first base hit of the game.
Just a good piece of hitting by Rosenthal there. 1-2 count, just protecting the plate, getting a piece of it. And it's a bloop single right into center field, just over the shortstop's glove and right in front of the center fielder.
Brings up Meyerowitz, 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. Runner takes off from first. Pitch is hit on the ground to short. There's only one play. It's at first. And Meyerowitz is retired as Rosenthal reaches second safely.
It's basically a bunt there for the Millers as the hit and run was on the first pitch. Rosenthal's speed gets him in safely at second to deter the double play.
Back to the top of the order, and Robert Schneider. Big 2-run single in the fifth his last time up. He's 2 for 3 today. Grounded out in the first, but has been on base last 3 times with a walk, a single, and then that 2-run single. He also came around to score in the 5th inning on the 2-run double from Steven Echeverria. First pitch to him is a fastball that's in there for a strike.
Something we haven't seen Schneider do today is swing on that first pitch. In the last few games, Schneider has consistently swung at that first pitch and driven it down that third base line, but today we haven't seen that. He's been going more center as he's trying to just make contact with that ball, not trying to be too aggressive in a game between two powerhouses.
0-2 on Schneider. Good pitch there from Holman. Millburn ranked 4th in the NJ.com top 20. Delbarton is at 2. And now we'll have a mound visit from McBride. If you're just joining us, welcome. Kevin Connolly joined alongside Adam Toombs. Got underway about 15 minutes late. First pitch was at 4:17. Millburn didn't get to the field until around 3:20 Eastern. It's been a little bit of a longer game with pitchers, specifically on the Delbarton side, showing a lot of free passes. Millburn finally able to cash in on that in the 5th inning with a 4-run frame. They're now 3 outs away from victory, but looking to add an insurance run on with a runner at second base and 1 out. Top of the order up in Robert Schneider, but the count is 0-2 on him. Oh, 2, missed upstairs, 1-2. Holman needing to keep this deficit at 4 for Delbarton. Try and give him a chance in the 7th. And we've seen this constantly today. Delbarton pitchers able to get ahead of Millburn batters, but then trying to find that perfect pitch, missing the zone, and all of a sudden the count's back to even at 2-2.
And most specifically, Sacento. And that's why he came out of the game so early and had a high pitch count throughout the duration of his outing today.
Yeah, he threw just under 90 pitches through 4 innings, gave up 5 walks, and hit 3 guys. Holman, inside move, ahead of the 2-2 pitch. Millburn very aggressive on the bases, and Delbarton pitchers have been very cognizant of that today. Two misses upstairs, 3 straight out of the zone from Holman, and it's full 3-2. So from 0-2 to 3-2, it'll be a payoff pitch from Ryan Holman. In total, 10 either walks or hit by pitches allowed by Delbarton pitching. And then there's going to be a throwing error on Holman, trying to pick off Rosenthal off second, went off the glove of Garcia into center field. So down to third goes the base runner. And now Millburn with a big insurance run 90 feet away.
Just an errant throw by Holman over to second. Rosenthal had a late read on it, but it went so far into center field that he had time to get to third, even though he delayed his run.
Infield has to come in for Delbarton. 3-2 pitch on the way, and it's cut on and missed. Fastball challenge. Schneider, he couldn't catch up. He's retired via the strikeout for the first time today, and now there's 2 away here in the 7th.
Put a little purpose on that pitch there, as the errant throw to second base kind of fired him up, and he gets a big out. Now there are 2 away.
Kaigo Fujita will dig in. 1 for 3 today with a walk. Takes the first pitch in there for a called strike. Fujita, suicide squeeze, brought in a run in the 4th inning. Fouls that pitch off at the plate. Now he's behind in the count 0-2. So can Ryan Holman strand the runner at third? Rosenthal singled, and then was stealing as Meyerowitz grounded out. Advanced to third on a throwing error from Holman, trying to pick him off second base. Holman trying to bear down and strand him 90 feet away. 0-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Fujita goes down looking. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on in the 7th for Millburn. Go to the home half. Delbarton needs a rally. They need 4 to tie.
Yeah. They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling.
Last licks for Delbarton. They trail by 4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Millburn trying to close out a upset victory on the road against New Jersey's 2nd-ranked team. Miller's ranked 4th, as Henry Jacobs is going to try to close out the 9-out save and give Drew Oppenheim the victory. I have to go through the heart of the Delbarton order. 3, 4, and 5, Hager, Harley, and Garcia to bat here in the 7th inning. And on the first pitch, it's bounced on the ground to short. Throw over to first is high, but Peyton Kahn able to keep his foot on the bag. 1 pitch and 1 out for Jacobs.
An efficient out for Jacobs. Couldn't be any better there. Couldn't be in a better position.
He's worked around some trouble today. Allowed a 1-out double, in the 5th. And then with 1 out in the 6th, allowed a walk and a single, but has not allowed a run to come in to score on his watch. And then swinging at the first pitch is Jack Harley as well, and he hits it foul and out of play on the left field side.
Jacobs allowed his first hit of the season on the hit last inning.
Yeah, came in 4 2/3 on the year. No hits, no runs, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. Pitch misses inside, and it's 1-1.
Key to this game so far, or rather, throughout the game, is errors on Delbarton.
Upstairs, 2-1.
Some costly errors, 3 errors on the game, a ton of walks by Delbarton pitchers, and they've put him in this 4-run hole as they try to climb back here with 1 gone.
2-1. That's upstairs, and it's 3-1. Yeah, we saw an error on the catcher's interference, with really allowed things to unravel in the 5th inning against Christian Zabrowski. after the catcher's interference that allowed Greg Rosenthal to reach the runners at first and second, as that one is hit into center field and through for a base hit. So third hit of the game for Jack Harley, and he's on with one out here in the seventh. But after that catcher's interference that allowed the first or two runners to be on, we saw a walk, a two-run single, another walk, and a two-run double. That was all a part of Millburn's four-run fifth inning. But now Delbarton with a runner on first and one out here in the seventh with Sal Garcia, who's had a tough day at the plate. He's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, and he gets hit by a pitch. So Delbarton mounting a little bit of a rally here in the seventh. They'll have two on and one out.
It's a dangerous position to put yourself in if you're Henry Jacobs and the Millers. You have a very good infield, outfield situation behind you if you're Jacobs, but you got to throw balls over the plate and allow your infield to make plays.
Well, we'll get a visit on the mound here for Millburn. Robert Russo set to dig in. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a walk, and a flyout. There's one out here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Came on the first pitch. Jacobs has thrown 36 pitches for Millburn, by far the most he's thrown in an outing this season.
Russo, for a moment in that first or second inning, had that injury scare as the ball came a little inside, maybe hit his finger after it hit the bat, or maybe just jammed him inside, but has come back to play the rest of this one. But he is 0 for 2.
And now the tying run on the on-deck circle for Delbarton. Two runners on base don't mean anything for Millburn. They're not being held on. First pitch to Russo is popped up. Shallow center. Wilson coming on. Oh, he lost his footing, and the ball drops. He lost his footing as he tried to make the catch. Everybody's safe, and the bases are loaded.
Wilson caught. That's the same spot in that. It's the same spot in that fourth inning where Wilson kind of was indecisive of whether he was going to dive or play it straight up. It's the same exact spot. He's tripped twice.
Oh, it looked like it was going to be the most routine fly ball. They'll give it a base hit. And now the tying run's at the plate for Delbarton.
I feel like that should have been an error.
He never touched the baseball. He just fell, and the ball landed behind him. Not sure if he stepped in a hole. I mean, field is beautifully manicured here at Delbarton. Aiden Dill takes upstairs 1-0. And this is how things happen and how Delbarton wins ball games, as we were alluding to earlier in the game. So now Henry Jacobs put in an unenviable spot with the bases loaded and one out. And now he's behind the count 2-0 on Aiden Dill, who's 1 for 3 today.
The runners on base won't tie it. The runner at the plate will. So the Millers not worrying about the guys on base, more worried about getting the guy at home.
Jacobs comes set, infield stays back, the 2-0 is upstairs, and it's now 3-0.
Jacobs is pitching with a little caution. And, you know, I don't blame him for pitching with caution, but in a game like this, you're up 4, bases are loaded, have to pitch with caution, but at the same time, you have to try and get him to swing. These pitches are nowhere near the zone.
3-0 outside, ball 4. Run comes in to score for Delbarton. It's now 6-3, and the winning run is coming to the plate.
So Chapman will come out to have a discussion with Jacobs. I'm not sure if this is the second mound visit of the inning, and I don't know if that plays any role. And I think it might. I think they're going to put in Schneider, who has come in relief a couple of times for the Millers this season. I wouldn't blame them. Schneider's been outstanding as Jacobs takes his walk back to the dugout.
So pitching change for Millburn. Tying run is on, winning run at the plate for Delbarton with one out here in the 7th inning. We'll step aside and be back after this.
It's his responsibility as Maldonado cranks one into deep left field. You can forget about that. Chris Maldonado with home run number 2 today. He's got
as this one is ripped into left field. A bat flip and a homer for Tyler
pitch
Beck.
is hit in the air, left field. Going over Fiore. He's back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. A leadoff home run for St. Joseph's Regional. Ellis Garcia gets things started for the Green Knights. Here in the payoff pitch is hit in the air, deep right center field. That ball is high, it is far, and it is gone! A grand slam for Matthew Monteleone. And it kicks and fires. That pitch is hit in the air, deep right field. Get out of town! Michael, you waited up, and Marcus Johnson smacked it out of the yard. A leadoff bomb from the Cougars center fielder. Play the 1-2. Hit in the air, deep left field. That ball is high, it is far, it is long gone off the house. Makai Moore with a go-ahead.
Bottom of the 7th inning, pitching change for Millburn. It's Robert Schneider on the mound. Greg Rosenthal moves over to short, and taking over at second base is Brett Platner. The tying run's on first base. The winning run is at the plate in Marco Maselli, who has 2 walks and a sacrifice bunt today. First pitch to him, misses downstairs, 1-0.
5 straight balls from Miller pitchers as they still play conservative here.
Jacobs, 2 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He hit 1. All 3 runners on base, his responsibility. And now the count is 2-0 on Maselli.
6 straight balls.
And you certainly don't want to turn this thing over to the top of the Delbarton order. Last 4 have all reached, and Kevin Hager grounded out on the first pitch he saw from Jacobs. 2-0, there's a called strike, and it's 2-1. Obviously, the big play so far in this inning has been the Robert Russo single, in which Alex Wilson just fell down in center field. Either stepped in a hole or lost his footing, lost his balance, and just went down. Ball dropped behind him. Everyone only advanced 90 feet, though, because it looked like a routine pop-up.
Those are the kinds of plays that will change the momentum of the game. Alex Wilson, routine pop-up, couldn't get there. Delbarton now feels like they have life, and right now they're playing with a little more life as they have bases loaded and an opportunity to tie this one and even win this.
Well, it's now 3-1, and the fastball misses outside. The infield still stays back for Millburn. All the momentum right now with Delbarton as that one is lined to Wiener. Throw to second, double play, game over. How about that for an ending for Millburn? It was a line drive hit to the hot corner off the bat of Maselli. They double off Russo at second, and Millburn gets the upset win against Delbarton.
The hot corner, Matt Wiener, had an error earlier in the game, bounced back, caught that one, threw it over to Platner, who was Gianni on the spot ready for that one. And the Millers come out with a huge win. Big PowerPoint game for the Millers as they most likely solidify Group 3 North first seed. And a huge win over Delbarton, 6-3.
Outstanding game from both these teams. Delbarton gave Millburn a scare in the bottom half of the 7th, but Marco Maselli hit it on the screws. He just hit it right at Wiener, who doubles off Robert Russo at second base to end the game. And it's 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and because of the double play, 2 left on for Millburn. Their final line score 6-5-1 for Delbarton, 3-9-2. As Millburn picks up victory number 21 on the season, and Delbarton will fall to 18-3. Winning pitcher is Drew Oppenheim. Robert Schneider will get the save. Taking the loss for Delbarton will be Christian Zabrowski, although he only allowed 4 unearned runs. For my broadcast partner, Adam Tubes, I'm Kevin Connolly. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of New Jersey varsity baseball right here on the D1 Media Pro page on the National Federation of High School Sports. Once again, your final score, Millburn 6 and Delbarton 3. We'll see you next time, everybody, and have a good night.
He's going to take it himself for a championship!
A double play, Winston McCray. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch!